Well, isn't that fun? Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't have my green on yet. A little bit later.
Neither do I.
A little bit later. Hi, Christian. Hello, everyone watching, whether you're watching it now live or watching the restream. We would love for you to indicate, just type a comment into whatever platform you're watching on, if you're watching it live or you're watching the restream, and where you're watching from. I am in Florida right now, and Christian's in Salt Lake City. So we're kind of on two different sides of the US coming to you to talk about our listing hub that we are developing. First ever listing hub. So fractional real estate investors can sell their fractional shares in real estate. And so we have some awesome things coming. And Christian, I'll kind of let you talk about something that we did this week so that we can bring this listing hub to market even faster, but not only just bringing it to market faster, having, when we do bring it to market, having it so that it's scalable. So Christian, I'll turn it over to you, and you can tell those that are watching now kind of a little more of what we're up to and what we did that was exciting this week.
Cool. I'm actually going to let you to introduce that, but I want to get some background first. And the reason why is because you are so connected to CC. You're going to do a way better job at introducing everybody to her. However, so I obviously just gave you guys a lead into what might be coming. Here's the thing about investing in real estate, and especially passively investing in real estate syndications. The biggest thing that stops people from investing is the lack of liquidity. The reason that you get such a great rate of return in real estate typically is because you have the simple fact that you're not going to have liquidity. So oftentimes, if you get into a deal with somebody, it's going to be anywhere from 2 years up to 10 years. And during that time frame, your money is locked. Unfortunately, we realize that real life happens, and sometimes really hard stuff comes up, or people just have a change of life plans, right? So whether it's like, a major illness and you need that money out, or whether you just decided that you're going to, move to Florida and, live on the beach for a few years and you want to use your money to do that. There's a lot of people that want liquidity and realize it after the fact, after they've already invested. And so what we are creating is essentially a secondary marketplace for those fractional shares. And, our mission really is to have the hard conversations with the sponsors and with the passive investors to create this space where they allow more liquidity within their offerings. And the great part about it is everybody wins. Literally, the sponsors are going to be able to raise more money faster from people they normally wouldn't be able to. And the passive investors are going to be able to access the money if they need it. And they're going to feel more confident in putting their money into real estate syndications. And so we, as far as we know, and we've been doing a lot of research, we've been interviewing a lot of big names in the industry. As far as we know, there is nothing like this out there. There is not a secondary marketplace. And so our goal is to create that and then also work with real estate sponsors to normalize it, if you will, to build it into their offerings so that you have more liquidity within the real estate space. And you think about it, if you have now liquidity and you still have higher returns, it's just better than ever before. So that's a beautiful thing. And as we've been working on this, we're also building a fund behind it. And the fund will actually buy these fractional shares. So we are creating not only the place for people to list, but also the demand so that people do have liquidity, even if it's not largely publicized yet. During this process, though, we've been working with a company trying to get the listing hub built and in place. And Caloni is a lot of the behind the scenes, with that. So Caloni, I'd love for you to talk about kind of where we're at now and why we are choosing to buy the code from the company we've been working with and introduce a new team member.
All right. Thanks, Christian. One thing that Christian said that I wanted to make sure we clarify is our fund has the option to buy these interests. We may not put an offer on all of them. It really just depends because we have also the interest of our investors and the returns that we're looking at providing to them. And so we may or may not make an offer on it. We'll underwrite it. We'll see if it's a good deal. Do you hear those sirens, Christion? I'm literally like right by the beach. It's right there. And the palm trees are blowing about 15 feet from me right now. So
that's not good.
Well, no, I think I hope not, right? No, I think it's from the road that's over there. I'm on an island off the coast of Florida. I'm in St. Augustine, and there's a little island kind of off of it that we like to stay on. Anyhow, so the listing hub, we've been talking about this for months and months and months and months now. And we started working with a development company. How long ago, Christion? 4 months ago?
I don't know how long ago it was, but
5 months ago?
Would say it was probably at least 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure as those of you that are watching, when you work with an external company, sometimes there's delays, or sometimes it just doesn't go as planned, and that's business. So what we're doing is we brought on a chief technology officer. Her name is Asena Thornton. We call her Cece. And she's finishing up her CTO certification at Wharton right now. And she's just a wealth of knowledge on the tech side, which is great because none of us have the extent of expertise that she does in this. And so we brought her on not only for her to help us with the development of the listing hub and all the coding and all of that, and hiring the right internal team that we need to be able to fully develop that. So not only develop it, but develop it in such a way that it's scalable. So as we start to scale this, as more and more listings become available on the listing hub, as more investors and sponsors are aware of what we're doing, and that this financial product is available to the marketplace, that we can scale it in a timely and not only timely, but in a fast manner. So we're super excited to have Cece on board. She just started this week, and I just had a call with her about 2 hours ago today, and she's excited. She's diving in. She's asking the tough questions, and so I'm looking forward to see where she can take this even in the next couple of weeks. And so that's some exciting news there on the listing hub side of things. If you've been following our journey for the past 13 months, I think is when we started talking about it on social, Christion, about PREIshare, you'll see that 2023 is a big year where we're finally launching some of the different aspects of the business. We have the fundication show and the studio. That the studio room itself is finished. The entire building's not finished yet, but the studio room itself is just about finished. And so we've been doing some filming in there. We have some episodes that we'll have another episode from the studio that goes live next week. And so we have that is launched. We have the fund that is just about ready to launch, which is exciting. We have the listing hub that's coming up. And Christion, are there other things that you want to chime in there that we've launched recently or that we have upcoming for PREIshare?
Well, here's the interesting thing, and actually it was our social media manager Brennan who pointed this out, and I think that's not his official title. He has a way better title than that. But yeah. Brennan pointed this out a while back, that little did we know when we decided to launch a real estate fund that we were going to be in the prop tech space. So that's the way the world works nowadays. It seems like any business you're going to build, you're going to be building technology around that. And so when we started launching the listing hub, Brennan quickly realized that we are now in the prop tech space. And so I did a video about this a few months back, and talking about prop tech and how that is affecting the industry. And so now we have this whole other side of our business that, like you said, none of us are super well versed in. I don't think we have any coders on our team. We don't have anybody that that works in that. And so we've been hiring or outsourcing, if you will. I guess I don't know if outsourcing is the right word, but we've been using it.
Hire another company.
And there's challenges with working with other companies, not just from a timing standpoint, but also you're at the mercy, if you will, of their timelines and their processes, and nothing to tear down the other company we're working with. We just simply are at the point where we need to have more control of that, and we need to have the ability to throttle and push on the gas, because we're now at the point where our fund documents are, I think they're all in place, ready to go. We have people
Our pitch deck's ready.
What's that?
Our pitch deck's ready. It's all ready.
Our pitch deck's ready. We already have people with millions of dollars ready to give us so that we can deploy that money into these different spaces with real estate syndications. And our listing hub isn't live yet. And so we want to launch this thing. We want to do it right, and we want to move things forward. And so that's where I think that CC, with all of her experience and just this simple fact that she understands what the process is to create something like this, and what the language is a huge deal. So really, really grateful that you found her for us, Caloni, and that we have her as part of the team.
Yeah. And we weren't even necessarily trying to find her at this very moment. I just happened to have a conversation with her about probably 3 weeks ago now. And I was just telling her kind of what we're up to. And then she told me what she was up to. And we've kept in touch. I mean, we probably talk business, marketing, we talk shop, if you will, probably, I don't know, once a year when I see her, when I talk to her. And we've always really just like synced up and saw things like eye to eye. And so super excited to have her on board. Super exciting for the Listing Hub to launch. That'll be our next big item that we're launching. So, and then we also have our approved sponsor group. I mean, there's so many different things that we're launching. I mean, we have our system that we're going to be launching, but specifically the approved sponsor group. Christion, tell a little bit more about that. And then if you know the URL, which is PREIshare.com/become an approved sponsor. And actually, Brennan, can you throw that in the chat? PREIshare.com/become an approved sponsor. But yeah, tell a little bit more about that, Christion.
Yep, have Brennan put that in the chat. And then also Nick wants to make sure that we talk about the studio that is up and running. Before we get to that, though, let me address what you were talking about. We're going to have 50 approved sponsors. And with those, the sponsors that get approved with PREIshare, they're going to be the ones that have access to the additional financial services that we're going to be offering to the marketplace. And when I say financial services, I mean money to put into their deals. And so there's the top off services that we do. There's the pref equity services that we do. And the interesting thing about it is the more we talk with different sponsors that are going through this process, the more creative they're getting in how they use these funds. And so I don't think we had the video ready to go yet, but very shortly we'll do another restream and we'll share the video of how our pref equity works and the cost of that money. Because what we're seeing is a lot of people, and so far it's mostly been in the development side of things, but I think that the multifamily and storage guys are going to see a similar way to use it, where essentially they're using it like bridge financing. And if they use it properly, and if they continue to do their raise and backfill it, it probably is less expensive than a lot of the bridge money that's out there. So it's kind of fun to see us put these products out there and the ways that we are going to not only deploy money, but also yield or get the yield necessary to give the proper returns to our investors. But in the same process, we're creating a new way that these guys can run their business and do their raises. And it's pretty exciting.
We have that. I'm muting myself in between because sometimes the wind's coming through and blowing these palm trees a little wild. So it's really fun to see, just like last week we filmed, it was last week, right, Christion? We filmed 3 different days at the studio. Yeah, yes. It was a wild week last week, but it was good. And we got some really good ideas from some of the different sponsors that we're interviewing. And it's every conversation we have with a sponsor, it's like they're coming up with new creative ways of different either products that we can launch or different how we can kind of tweak our services to better fit the industry. And so it's not that the PREIshare team, although we do have a great team, and Mike Anderson, our CEO, Michael Anderson, he is a wealth of knowledge. And so we're so grateful that he came on board as our CEO this year. But not only that, these sponsors are they're giving us ideas of what the industry needs. And the cool part is we get to figure out as the leadership team, how to bring these products and services to market. And some of them, unfortunately, are taking a little bit longer, but we want to make sure that we're doing it right. We want to make sure that we're doing it that in a way that best suits the industry, both the investor, the passive investor, and the sponsors. And so it's been really exciting to have these conversations with different sponsors to see, really where they see the gaps are in the marketplace and how PREIshare can fill those gaps.
Well, and speaking of which, with the liquidity, we're at the space now where if somebody wants to put their share out there, we will underwrite it as a fund, and if it meets our criteria, we will buy those right now. We're in the space that we can do that. And as the listing hub comes online, you can also put those out into the open market. And so we are ready. If there's anybody on this, this live or watching this later on, and you're saying, hey, listen, I've got $250,000 in this deal that I really could use out. And we've built some good equity over the last few years, which most people have if they've been in investment for the last few years. Reach out to us. We would love to underwrite that and be completely free of charge. So with the listing hub, this is something, we're not going to be a broker dealer. We're not going to get involved in the transfer of those assets. It's simply going to be like any other classifieds type of website where you're going to be able to list your fractional shares. And then the one thing that we will do is we will essentially mark which are approved with PREIshare, meaning that they could get access to the fund money and that they've already written into the language. And then we will also make sure that you can see which sponsors have already changed the language to allow liquidity within their offerings so that those can be sold. But quite frankly, you can list your shares regardless of the situation. It's just going to be up to you to facilitate between your sponsor and that new buyer, and also verifying that that new buyer is in fact an accredited investor, because for the most part, that's going to be a requirement for anybody that's buying these fractional shares. In order to make this accessible and sponsors even want to do it, is they're going to have to be selling these to accredited investors.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to even view our listing hub listings, at least at this point with where we are, though there will be controlled access, and only accredited investors will be able to access the listing hub and see what listings are there. I mean, we might publish some of the listings maybe on social media or in our email newsletters and things like that, but at least right now, only accredited investors will have access. And again, like Christion said, we are not acting as a broker. We're simply providing a listing hub, a listing portal where accredited investors can list their fractional shares with the approval from their sponsor, and then they can sell those to other accredited investors. And the communication will basically be between the accredited investor, the selling party, and then the buying party. And there will be buttons on the website where they can communicate, or the listing hub where they can communicate with one another. And so we're really doing all that we can to ensure that the investor is providing all the pertinent information for the fractional share that they're selling, so that the seller has that information, but then the seller can also be in communication. And so we have some just really cool things that we're doing with the listing hub. And I'm sure, just like a lot of other things that we've launched, we'll kind of have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and it'll continue to grow and improve as those products grow and improve. And so we're excited of all the things that we're bringing to the marketplace that have been much needed for decades.
And luckily, we already have an email list of over 30,000 accredited investors. So if you're wondering, if only accredited investors are going to be allowed onto this platform, how in the world am I going to find somebody to buy my shares? Well, first of all, we're going to help promote it, and you can also refer anybody that is an accredited investor that you may be running into, and you can send them to the site.
Yeah. So, and again, just follow us on social. I'm sure we'll keep you updated here on our live videos too, but on social, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're on multiple platforms, YouTube. And YouTube, actually, that's where you can go to see all of our full-length episodes from the Fundication show. And you can follow us there and get more updates of when the listing hub is going to be available. If you have specific questions about the listing hub or just any questions in general, you can email us at info@preishare.com to get more information there about our listing hub or any other questions that you might have.
Yep. It looks like we lost Brennan, so we don't have those links coming in here, but just go to YouTube, type in PREIshare, PREIshare, and you'll see the little eye symbol. Click on that, and you can go to all of our videos. But we just wanted to come on here, talk about the listing hub, let you guys know about our newest team member, and I would say watch for a future episode or a future live. I would love to bring CC on the line and introduce her to everybody else. And with that, folks, I think Caloni has frozen. Oh, okay. There she is.
You're frozen. You were frozen too. We were both frozen.
Oh, got it.
I don't know if both of us were frozen to the audience, but you froze, I froze. So anyhow.
Hey, audience, if we were frozen, just put the little chili sign into the into the chat and let us know. But with that, Caloni, is there any final words that you want to leave folks with?
Have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. Go celebrate, everybody.
Yes. Have a good day. Thanks.